Hello, and welcome to Mama Ruth's house. Today we're going to do things a little bit different. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. This is Mother's Day, and I have decided that I'm planting my garden. Thought I'd bring you guys along. I don't have any space for gardening, so I use these pots. My daughter, about 4 years ago, made me these plant stands, and I use 5-gallon buckets and plant my plants, and they have grown beautifully in there. This is, however, the first year that we're doing it here. I don't know how the sun will be. We'll have to just kind of see. Hopefully my garden will do just as good and flourish just the way it did there. So I'm going to get started. Probably going to do some before, in the middle, and after so you can see how it looks. And thank you so much for joining. We'll see you in a bit. I'm back. I got all these pots ready. I put some, I used some of the old dirt. I put some new dirt, soil. I did a little bit of steer manure and some feed, some slow release fertilizer, not feed, but slow release fertilizer, and a little bit of Epsom salt, and I mixed it all in the soil, and I put them in these buckets. And so what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put her link down below, is Roots and Refuge. I watched a video on her planting tomatoes, and the technique that she used, I'm going to try this year. So what it is you, we're going to cut off all of the lower branches. We're going to drop an egg in the hole, and we're going to plant it up to here. So we're going to put that whole thing in the dirt. Now she swears by this technique, and her produce is amazing. And that's Roots and Refuge. So I'm going to tag her in the comments field. I have 7 different types of tomatoes, and we're going to be clipping them and putting them in here. So I got that out just a little bit too soon. I need to make a hole. So you dig your hole very deep, because we're going to plant these deep. And then I have a tomato cage that we'll be putting on the outside. Let's see if that works for the depth. Yep. All right. So we're going to take an egg, and we're going to drop it right down in the hole, and then we're going to crack it just a little bit to get it started in the bottom. So I'm dropping the egg in there. I'm going to crack it just to get it started. And then we're just going to put this after we clip it off. So what she tells us is that we clip off all of the lower branches. So you just have the crown at the top. And then we're going to drop that right in on top of that egg and plant him just like that. And she says it makes everything stronger and better. So, and I'm going to mulch it. So I'm going to put some mulch around it. Probably a little bit more dirt as well, soil. So that's number 1. This one is a red cherry tomato. We'll just do a few together, but you'll get the gist of it. I thought it would, I'm tired now because I've been doing a lot of stuff. I still got a lot to plant. So this is a big beef tomato. I'm going to do the exact same thing. She does it to all the tomatoes. Again, we're just going to drop our egg in there. Give it a little crack. I think it's going to be fun for us once my tomatoes start coming out that we do some recipes with them. I think I'm going to leave that. It's a beautiful Mother's Day here. This is exactly what I love to do. Drop that egg in there. Give it a little crack. Now this one is a Beef Master. I'm just going to chop off all those lower foliage. So we just have the crown. Now I got to dig this one. I shouldn't put the egg in there so soon. I don't think this one's deep enough. That was a much deeper hole. Shorter one. Let's do this one. I have to put some more soil in this one. This is a beefsteak tomato. And then she also says when they're starting to grow, there's these little tiny saplings that we're going to cut that off anyway, but I'm going to show you. She says just to pop those off so that it gives it air. So as they grow, we're going to do that throughout their growing season. I think I'm going to leave that one on there. I'm going to put more soil in that one as well. I thought I had enough in there, but it looks like not enough. All right, so that's what we're going to do. And when we come back, we'll plant some other things. All right, I'm all done. I got lots and lots. There's herbs all on this side. And I have some are going through a little bit of shock. It might be a little too hot for them. We're going to see how they do. They may or may not pull through. We have a whole bunch of squash that we'll get to use, a bunch of tomatoes. This is how it looks from this side. Those middle ones, I will be planting some lettuce. That's what I did last year, and they did really well. I just don't know where my seeds are right now, so I will be planting those. But it looks pretty good. I think hopefully they'll pull out of it and just go through a little shock. But there you have it, and I'll give you some updates as it goes. Thank you so much, and until next time, have a
Day 1, they're doing great. Everybody is happy. They're all healthy. Squash and cucumbers, doing good. Let's check the other. The peppers on this side. And our sage, oregano, chives, the mint, basil, parsley, they're all looking good. This is only 1 week after, this is only 2 weeks after I've planted these plants. It's crazy how big they've gotten already. We have blooms already on our squash. You can see the squash blooms. We have a little squash hiding in here. This one's a little yellow squash. Somewhere. Oh, there he is. All our plants are doing so good. I can't wait to harvest some for us to cook with. I've already used some of my herbs. I just can't believe how large they've gotten. We have blooms on all of our tomatoes. Well, not all. This one doesn't have any. This one has some blooms. It's so awesome. I'm very excited. I am so excited to share with you guys my little bucket garden. Today is week 4 and they are doing amazing. My tomatoes are just flourishing. I have some little tomatoes on the vine in several places. We're getting some blossoms on our eggplant, and this one is this kind of an eggplant, a white one. And then we have the Japanese long one that's getting some flowers. The tomatoes in the back, these are the cherry tomatoes. They're doing well. The squash is doing wonderfully. This is the white bush squash. You can see I have little squash growing all over. My zucchini is doing wonderful. The cucumbers are blooming and just growing wonderfully. Several yellow squash on there. I can't wait to start cooking with them. I had to move some of my pepper plants. They were just getting too much water from the sprinklers. But the pepper plants are all doing well. I don't see any cucumbers on yet, but we have lots of blossoms, pepper blossoms. The sage is doing well. Got a little tiny cherry tomato on here. This is the black cherry tomatoes. My cilantro and parsley are doing very well. Rosemary is all doing very well. So you can bucket garden. This is my 4th year. First year at this house. You can just see how tall these are. I'm reaching up. They're just wonderful. I am so excited to share with you guys my little bucket garden. Today is week 4 and they are doing amazing. My tomatoes are just flourishing. I have some little tomatoes on the vine in several places. We're getting some blossoms on our eggplant, and this one is this kind of an eggplant, a white one. And then we have the Japanese long one that's getting some flowers. The tomatoes in the back, these are the cherry tomatoes. They're doing well. The squash is doing wonderfully. This is the white bush squash. You can see I have little squash growing all over. My zucchini is doing wonderful. The cucumbers are blooming and just growing wonderfully. Several yellow squash on there. I can't wait to start cooking with them. I had to move some of my pepper plants. They were just getting too much water from the sprinklers. But the pepper plants are all doing well. I don't see any cucumbers on yet, but we have lots of blossoms. Pepper blossoms. The sage is doing well. Got a little tiny cherry tomato on here. This is the black cherry tomatoes. My cilantro and parsley are doing very well. Rosemary is all doing very well. So you can bucket garden. This is my 4th year. First year at this house. You can just see how tall these are. I'm reaching up. They're just wonderful. So this is my garden. You can see it's doing so well. I'm so excited to see all of the little tomato plants are doing well. All of my herbs are doing good. I have squash over here, tomatoes. And this is only 6 weeks in. My sage, the pepper plants. Got a little pepper down here. Got a squash over here coming out. It's a zucchini. I have some squash here. That one's a small one. Yellow straight neck squash. I have one over here that I'm going to harvest. This is a larger one. And then we're going to harvest my early white bush squash. This one I'm going to harvest today. Got some good sized tomatoes coming. I think that one needs my little Japanese eggplant needs to be a little bit bigger, and then we'll harvest that. So first we're going to harvest this squash.
We're just going to cut it right above. A nice size squash. And we're going to harvest our little yellow one over there. That's a good. And a zucchini. We have a zucchini down here. That's a good size.